Alright, alright. Good morning, everyone. Just gotta make sure that everything's functioning normally, because I believe power flickered out a couple times between now and the last time I streamed. Is the audio actually working? Because that was really quiet if it was. Hang on. Oh, yep, hold on. Hold on. Actually working because that was really quiet. It works! Wanted to make sure my mic had the right settings. I also got a new headset. Was that before or after the last time I streamed? Before? After? Before. Probably, I think. Anyway. Been a minute since we went into Satisfactory. Now, I forget exactly where we were last time. How far exactly we'd gotten and what we were doing. So we're going to get back to finding out what we were doing. But I do remember that we were getting really close to being done with basically everything. Which means that pretty soon we're going to be able to start the factory. And that's going to be a good day. So I am planning on this being a slightly longer stream. Going to be going for about 3 hours. Thursday, currently the plan is to do some Witcher 3. If we get, like, in spitting distance of starting up the factory tonight, I might change Thursday's stream to be more Satisfactory. Because we are right there. I'm also really glad that this actually worked first try and I didn't have to wait for it to update. So some of the last parts that we have to automate in our major factory project are the space elevator bits. We've wired up almost everything. I know there's still some pipes and stuff to be run down with the copper and the quartz and all that. But we are so close. And I don't know why I was on the ground over here. Why was I on the ground? What the heck was I doing? One of the other things that we're going to have to do relatively soon is we are going to have to run around most of the map looking for the miners. We're going to have to hook those up because those will need power. Aboard? Yep, that only needs 3 parts. Also, that should be up and running. Ah, were we working on these? What did I run into them? Well, while I'm up here, I'm going to put a second conveyor hole. I got confused for half a second. I thought there were only two. Okay. Ah, well... No, that's a different thing. Okay, so where does... Okay, so let's get your concrete. Let's get your reinforced beams. Okay, okay, okay. I see what we're doing. So I need to find the machine. Oh. What's the fastest route up? Probably that. So we've got concrete beams. We're going to need the other three parts. My DPI feels faster than usual. Okay, so we've got encased beams. We need screws, steel pipe, and mod frames. Oh, I should probably hook these up, right? So I'm looking for screws, steel pipes, and mod frames. Okay, so here's your screws. We've already wired up all of those. I'm going to put a blue swatch for screws. Where are our mod frame constructors? Here. Screws, mod frames. And then steel pipes. There should be plenty of those way the hell up at the end over here. Question now becomes how many of these are being utilized. zip back to the manufacturer. So this should be the last one on this layer. Okay, so we need 240 screws for each of 3 machines. And each of these makes 260 screws. So we need 3, and even then we'll be over production by 60. This is the one 260 surplus. $240 is 480, so that's like 1 full belt. That's on the second layer, which isn't bad. Here's kind of what I'm thinking, right? We're gonna have 60 extra. I can make a level 1 belt. So I want to find a way to split maybe that one. If I put that there, I'm going to lower my sensitivity. I put that, and then I put a splitter. And then this would need a merger. Now, that pole is meant to be temporary. So I could put this here, have that merge in, what do you mean invalid belt shape? Okay. So that merges in there. That splits because I want to try and, well, I'm going to take 60 off. So that leaves 200. So yeah, that could actually just be a couple tier 2 belts. And then I can put a lift there, because that'll give us some spacing. And then that needs to be on the second level. And then that would need to have 3 levels. Get the line up right. Honestly, that might have to be a belt as well, or a conveyor. 3, 4. So that would be about here. Yeah, too steep. Well, that works for some reason. Okay. And I can probably put that. And then I can make a different note. Blue merger. Blue lift equals 60 runoff. Okay. So, not the best solution, probably. But also it works. I am going to move it over one. Because we got some stuff coming up that we're going to have to weave through. And this is the problem with building. Building high-rises. That is connected correctly. So gonna do one here. Actually, even that's not far enough for the thing. Never mind. One, two, three, four, five. So that's on the second layer. So we can split it above and below this. And that becomes a 2-layer. There. And then I build one on top of that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It might be far enough that connecting them works. And then I just gotta get these around to the other side. And, that would do it. Such a clean solution. I thought that would be a little bit less steep, but yeah, it is what it is. Also, I really probably should leave the game on at some point, let it run, let it stock up material. Because, we're not exactly in danger of running out, but there is a very slight supply and demand issue. Namely that I am making much more than, or I am needing much more than I am currently making. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that does go all the way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That goes right there. Those are inputs and outputs for all of our industrial beams. What did I make a note of? That splitter. hopefully I can make this relatively straightforward. Hang on. That. I can make this in line with that. And then I'm going to delete that so that I don't forget what I did. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to delete that. I'm going to remake it so that it lines up. Doink. Splitter. That should be good. Actually, I did need 3 inputs. Which means that okay, building a switch kind of is possible. I can work that out. That's doable. Or actually, it doesn't even need to be a switch. It just needs to completely pump one belt. And if I make the bottom belt the one that gets flooded, did I build that facing the wrong direction? I did. Okay, so we gotta go. What's that belt? Come on. That looks about right. Yep. Then on to that. Build onto that. Build onto that. onto that. Build onto that. And then I need to make it fold over. Hang on. So this is a big enough jumble here. I can put that splitter there. And then a merger there. And then that folds like that to dump everything on the bottom one. And then the only thing the top one becomes responsible for is the one on the right. Well, okay, I do gotta make a very, very slight adjustment. So that goes to all the correct places. Okay, and that's our screws. It's not a particularly good system, but I mean, gets the job done. All of this shall soon come alive with the sound of roaring machinery. There's the next stuff, and we need... Okay, we've got the beams, we've got the screws. We need 120 steel pipes. Getting the steel pipes over there is going to be an absolute fucking nightmare. Because we gotta go all the way over there from all the way over here. Actually, okay, we do have to make the high-speed connectors. That's... Well, do we even need to wire those up immediately? Because that's a whole thing. I mean, I'm going to want to do that anyways. Okay. So we need 120 steel pipes. So that means I need 6 of these. And I don't even know how many of these are wired. None of them. Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to bring down 7. The reason I'm going to bring down 7 is because I'm going to put a splitter on the end of 1 and have that be like just extra. It'll eventually fill those up and then run off to whatever else we need it to run. What do you say? Hi, Mr. Bean. So that splitter's got 10 extra. Okay, okay. So I can move that. I can move that. I can do stuff here. Hang on. What does this say? Bite me about clearance. I just need to get up top. Okay, so that's the coal one. Okay, so that is the right... Okay, yep. I thought for a moment I had the wrong things. Okay, so, that and that. should be able to delete that without there being any adverse side effects. And I'm going to put that there. Okay. Yep, one. We're swimming! Holy shit! Okay. So here's kind of what I'm thinking. First, I should probably make a organization tower thing. Okay, so that's got 10 extra. And then there's 60 right there. We can bring 30 out of that. We can combine all of it. And then have a splitter come off the final end for overflow. And that'll give us 10 extra. So that has to be on the second layer already. So that's going to have to be on the second layer. Okay. Just for now. Slap a merger. Merger. Is there anywhere that I can... Not really. And even then that's way out in the distance. Hang on. If I route everything down that same pole, looks like there's only one split there, so it's not going to fit unless I make it taller, which I could do, and then you gotta run it. I'm gonna try to get it on this line. I'll just leave that cluster there so that I know what I'm aiming for. Okay. And then that. Didn't elevate those. I delete there? Did that not do the thing correctly? Okay, so that goes that way. So I want this line. Shit, that's gonna have to be on 3. Okay, okay, not the end of the world. Hang on. That, do that. Because I want the flow to be optimal. Delete those. Still short as far as steel beams are concerned, but we're never actually going to see it, and there is a good gap there. And I need to make a splitter anyway for the extra. Make it a smart splitter. And then I can put smart splitter above. Hehehehe. It is taking a little bit longer than I was kind of expecting to get some of the stuff, but this is one of the last, like, big things. Center output any. Right. Overflow. I'm going to put left and right to be overflow, so that way it's easily identified. Okay, and then shit. Lookout tower. One, two, three, four. Here. So, what are the odds that I can do some hocus pocus and weave this through all sorts of gaps? So if I do that, put that there, do this, put that there. Okay, now. I need to be able to reach there. So that to that. Anywhere. That's what I need. There. that. Doing some hocus pocus bullshit. So that's on that line. Okay, hang on. I'm concocting a plan. 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's going to be here. That's still going to be a 2. And then it becomes a 3. Still 3. And it's going to jump over to here. And then it's going to follow those down. I'm totally not a mad scientist. Ah. I forgot about that. Well, even then, splitting through the conveyors is not that big of an issue. Come on. Attach to the right one. Why aren't you hooking up to the right thing? See, that's layer 1. Why aren't you... Okay, fine. I'll hook you up the other way. Belts are being difficult again. Oh wait, did that not even... that... that might be why. I don't think that hooked up the right way. Of course, that just begs the other issue of if that didn't hook up the right way, what the hell is going on? Should be mostly correct. I want that to hook the other way. I want to jump up there and make sure that's not all kinds of fucked up. Okay, so that's not awful. I can make peace with that. And then that. It's always fun when you have to bring your resources clear across your entire production area. And there's no thing on the end here. That's fun. I didn't build a thing. But it's fine, we can just trade over. Until we run out of this one too. Then, yeah, I didn't make an end to that. Belt is too long. Bite me. Okay, it's not too long by much, so I'm going to shorten this by half the foundation. And that should solve our problems. Got a little for belt. That one. Hang on while I delete a bot from chat. Oh, my neck. Okay. So we are here. I need to get over there. Honestly, in theory, that level 4 belt right there, excuse me, that should probably just double straight back to the production, what's it? Or we could even put a smart splitter earlier and just have it be the surplus. Because yeah, that's just plastic. That's just going to be all the extra plastic. So we've got options for that. However, that's going to end up being that and that, because this still needs to go. There, there. There, there. Huh. And then what was it? Each of these eats 40. So a level 1 would work. And then I just need to attach splitters in the right places. What do you mean invalid shape? What the? But it should have. What the fuck? That's a splitter, yeah. That's out, that's in. It's slightly off center, isn't it? So it doesn't even appear off to me, but because the game's the game, it does a whole thing. Okay. So I'm just gonna go back over here really quick and make sure I did remember to put a splitter on the end so that, or no, it was a smart splitter. We made a smart splitter over here. Smart splitter above equals 10 extra. Okay. And Mr. Bean just kind of spawns in. Perfectly fine. Okay, and now the only thing we need left should be the modded frames, and then we will have our reinforced heavy frame. And the modular frames should be a little bit easier to wire, because those are a little bit closer. I believe it's this section. Yeah. Each of these makes 3 modular frames. Actually, I think it's all of these, right? Yeah. So, much closer. Okay, so we need 30. So I'm going to wire 33. But again, I'll have a splitter on one of them. To put them a little bit closer. And the tough part is, like... So I've obviously got the resource bus that runs around underneath the foundation of the space elevator. I want to have a massive resource dump in the same area, and then have the train tracks come along the resource bus, elevate up to the resource dump, which is going to be between this floor that we're standing on and where the resource bus is. So it's going to be not quite halfway, but far enough down that we can fit quite a few storage containers of each thing. And I want to get all of the surplus material from everything. So... I don't know quite how I'm going to get all of the materials consolidated. I just know it's going to get like a ton of smart splitters. And it's going to be smart splitters off of all of our production lines to go into the resource dump. And that's going to be the overflow. And then at the resource dump, when the belts come down, there's going to be a phase. And then, depending on which resources are getting dumped, we're going to have a bank of awesome sinks. That's the word. We're going to have a bank of awesome sinks that eat up all of the extra material. So nothing, at the end of the day, nothing should be getting stored in any of these machines. Everything should be going into a storage bin or into an awesome sink. But most of that's a problem for later. What's this? Do we need to worry about this? That's motors. We don't need to worry about that at the moment. Okay, right. And this is one of the few materials that's actually getting moved along this line. So I'm going to double it inwards to try and conserve some space. Can't wait till the point when we get those, but that's... we're nowhere near that yet. Good enough. We need very, very few of these, so... Could I have extended that on? Probably could have. Logistics, this, and I'm going to move that over to here because I like things being a certain way. Sure. Because there's other belts running parallel, I'm going to keep making things with similar junction points. Because I think that makes things look neater. Aha! But I have not done the thing. And in any case, it would need to be a triple, wouldn't it? I do like that you can see the input-output thing through there, because that just makes things a lot easier. Alright, and that takes care of our reinforced mod frames. Gonna go and uncolor that swatch. Gonna uncolor that swatch as well. And the only thing left on that line that even remotely has to be worried about is the high-speed connectors, which I don't think we need. If we end up needing them, I'll come back and make them. But for now, I'm going to focus on getting some of the major things done. Some of the space elevator bits. Because now we are on the final layer. Our space elevator shit. Okay. So, this here is motors and rubber and smart plates. I don't think we've got smart plates on our thing yet. I should head down this way and look for them. Auto wire. Pretty sure versatile frame. Yeah, watch that be smart plate. But it's fine, we can start with this. Yeah. So 2 reinforced plate times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 machines. Dry throat. So 12 machines, we need 24 reinforced iron plate. Where would I have hidden the reinforced iron plate? It's around here somewhere. I'm gonna find it. This? Yeah. Wait a minute, everything's got a thing attached. Wait a minute. So, most of them aren't hooked up to anything. Okay. Okay. These are 5, so I only need 3. Going to attach a splitter to that. Doink. There, it's the right way compared to where we are. Doink. No, I said we needed... We had 12 things. 12 machines times 2 is 24. Right. This we were making that 2. I had 12 machines. 12 times 2 is 24. Yep. Okay. So 5. Doink. 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 And then, like, there's a whole fucking thing that happens with these, so... That... equals 1 extra. I'm gonna color it green if I can. Okay, nope, we'll just make it pink. That's fine. Merger, 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 merger. Okay, so we need to get... Shit, did I even put... I don't think I put the inputs in. Hi boys, how's it going? Miss me? Of course you did. You always miss me. The roar of the machinery is going to be insane. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. I think I'm going to put that there. Give me 1 minute. I'm gonna go and get a glass of water. Or two. I have returned. Okay. And I have water. Water is good. Let's just put our belts. I like the little spot. The spot moves. Look, the shadow moves. I love that detail about this game. Okay. So, where in the piss were we? Over here, maybe? Nope, that's the wrong thing. Nope. Was it one of these? Nope. Ha! It's here. That's a whole fucking thing right there. Yep. Okay. So here's what I'm currently thinking. we're here. I'm going to bring it over here. And then we're going to try worming our way under and around some shit. I want to see how tight I can... Might be able to get that a little bit tighter. Yeah. That has enough clearance. That. There's nothing up above. Now for the interesting bit. That's at least 3 high. So I need to make that into a 4. Might be able to pull some shenanigans here. Hang on. That would actually work. And then I can use that to get back between the conveyors, and from there I can split it off. Yeah, that'll actually work, I think. Looks just the slightest bit jank, but I mean, at this point, what the hell doesn't? Everything is built on lies. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm actually gonna put that there. I can put. Shit, that's gonna be too close, isn't it? So how tight? Okay, that's got plenty of clearance. Got to do a bit of management, but I mean, plenty of clearance. One, two, three, 4, 5. Fuck, how close did I put that? I put that really close. Because, like, the other issue... is that the belt doesn't like to curve a certain way. But I think I can figure it out. All right. That one fills that 3. That one fills that 3. We got that one there. I'm going to put that and that. And that is half of our smart plate. Okay, now we need to go and get the other half of the materials. We're so close. The factory can almost start up. so it needs rotors. And again, we need 12 times 2, 24 rotors. Just want to check something real quick. Everything is fine. I need to find rotors, and I need to get 24 of them. Found them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 times 4, 24. And these are really close. I'm just going to mark that color. Oh, hey, it already had a blue thing on the other end of it. That's neat. Where's my drop-down hole? Oh shit, they're right. That's neat. It's almost like I planned this out. Having it planned out was kind of the idea, but. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yep. I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of spare coming off that, but that's an entirely different issue. Rotors are easy enough to make. Is that close enough for these to connect? It is. Game, I swear to Christ, if there's like 2 degrees of difference. Probably going to wire it over this because that's a straight shot. And I don't have to worry about the other machines here. Because that, I do have to worry about that. That's going to be an issue. The other way works, but not... Okay, that's stupid. Bite me, game. The outputs are there. Okay, do I even want to try to do that? It's gonna eat those three. Which line did I put it on? Half a line in front. It's gonna eat those three. Those three. Those three. And then to make it work, just to go in there. I need a ton more reinforced iron plate, or not reinforced iron plates, regular iron plates. But we're getting our first we're getting the first production done for space elevator bits. What am I doing? I'm looking for my brain don't work. Can I put that in there? Can I put that in there? No, I cannot. Can I put that in there? No, I cannot. Can I put that in there? No, I cannot. Can I put these in there? No, I cannot. Can I put that in there? No. We might end up waiting until next week to get this operational. For two reasons. Number one, realistically, we're not going to get anywhere near done. Like, I've still got a lot of wiring to do. Second reason being, I've got a lot of wiring to do. I need to run wires all the way to the different miners. That one's not hooked up to anything, so I don't need to run that one, but every miner needs to be checked. Every water pump needs to be hooked up. I need to make sure everything is operational, and then at some point I've got to work on my major storage area. And that is not stuff that's going to get done anywhere close to being in a single stream. But we have smart plate. Sneezes. See, all of those need to be filled up with resources. So I've got to get power to everything. Versatile frames. Excellent. So each of these requires 30 beams. Ah, fuck. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's 360 steel beams. I need to find all my steel beams. Is it this front layer? Gee, I don't fucking know. Steel beams. So I need 360. 360 divided by 15. 24? Fuck me jogging. Oh, thank God. I was getting so nervous there. Yes. I'm going to attach an extra one. Put a splitter on that. So I do want to make sure it runs optimally. Oh, mercy me, mercy my. That shit just keeps causing problems. Ugh. Need a moment to stretch. Do not be like me. Do not sit down for multiple hours at a time. It's not particularly good for you. Ow, that cramped. See, case in point. Got a cramp. Didn't feel good. Do I dare try to wind it underneath the thing? Why would I give myself an aneurysm like that? Why would I? So I'm going to put a splitter there. Going to put a merger there. And I'm going to put another merger. And then that's going to be able to hop up and over. And I'll put a merger here. And one there. It's almost perfect. One, two, three, four, five, six. Seven. This is gonna be a whole ass thing. The good news is, when this is all said and done, I will want 4 nothing until we start working on like serious nuclear shit. And it seems like the belts have properly attached to the thing, because I can't select that joint. Oh, it don't really matter. Okay, so that's 60. Plus 45, 60 plus 90. That. 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 I might try to wind that back under, because this does need to become an input. All that work trying to keep all my layers condensed. And look at the pasta. Look at it. Gaze upon my madness. What is it? 360. Fuck you, game. $60 and 45 is 105, 150, 195, 240. this is the point when it's going to start needing to be a level 4 belt. So if I weave it back, I could use that line and just have to make like a second layer. Which honestly seems like a plan to me. One, two, three. Oh, this is going to be awesome. We're going to get the 2 basic... Well, we might get the 2 basic. I still need to get the other material for... What are we working on? Versatile frames? Uh-huh, yep, okay, here. I totally remember what I was working on and where I was going with this. It's totally... We're okay. Nope. Nope. Grab, yoink, grab, yoink, grab, yoink. After 70 plus hours, it is almost done. there. For the sake of it being symmetrical, I'll probably just run that. Where was it? Over here. That should be able to go, I think. Grab that. That goes there. That. Just gotta make sure it lines up all correctly. Spacing? I like things being symmetrical. Okay, that was another 2 things. If I can make it symmetrical, I will. Also, I am tired, so my brain's not exactly working the best right now. Yeah, everything should be fine. Let's put the splitters in place. Because I want to be sure that things work. I'm gonna have to shorten this up a little bit. That's fine. That covers those 3. I'm going to back that up a little bit. There. That covers those 3. That covers those 3. Those 3 and those 3, and that's everything that we're going to need for versatile frames. And now it becomes just a matter of finishing up our glorious, glorious piping. They each only eat... Oh, what was it? I needed 360. They only eat 40 apiece? Level 3 belts because 40 apiece means 120 and I don't want it running at capacity. I want it running as fast as possible. Okay. So that's our steel beams. I think we still need to get modular frames for those. Did I put a thing that said we had extra? I, in fact, did not put a thing that mentioned our extra, what's it? It is going to be a glorious day when I can finally go through the whole of the desert and just pick up all these giant billboards that I put down to get my own attention so that I can know what all of our extras are, what our overflow is. So now each run requires 2.5 modular frames. And there's 12 of them. 12, 2.5. That's 30 modular frames. Is it these? I think it's these. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7. Eight, 9, 10. And I'll again do a thing where I put a splitter on the end. unless of course I already did that on the other end. That would be interesting. Ah, right, we need to put the things... I like the way some of this has worked out. Well, I mean, I planned it to work out this way, kind of. But I still like that some of this is really close to where it has to be. Of course, that gets easier toward the end of the line because you need less and less materials, and the production kind of sorts itself out. But yeah, after this, we've got what? Auto wire. Auto wire our motors in the engines. Things are looking pretty good, honestly. So I'm going to hop through the hole over here. And then there's those. There's a billboard. What did I do? Yes! I did not attach any of that. Dear God. This is what happens when I get tired. And I'm going to rebuild... At least I'm going to check with these first. Okay, so if I build them now, they will auto-connect. I don't need to worry about that one because that should have been built right onto the thing. I'll auto-connect it anyways. So that sorts out that. I'm going to use I'm probably going to have it join up. And then because I had that extra, I don't need that. And then that's going to curl that way. Built that merger facing the wrong direction. So I want it to be in the middle. I think that block. I'm trying to get over there. Yep, that works. That there. 100% works. The frame drop, holy shit. So, powering up the factory might crash my computer. That was a lot of computations. ironically, the best way to set up all the mergers is to build these and then delete them and then... And I think I should still mark it as being... three extra. Because you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So yeah, definitely... Can I copy the settings on that? Copy settings. Doink. Resolution billboard. So that should all be wired in. We are using less than okay. 5. Just gonna mark those 3. Just gonna mark those 3. Just gonna mark those 3. Those 3. And as long as I play it close, we'll be fine. Probably freaking help if I built them all the same dang distance from the thing. OCD's a bitch, isn't it? Okay. Oh god. Satisfactory crashed. Fatal error, build agent. Send and close. Okay, give me... You're gonna have to deal with that for a moment. I'm gonna bring Satisfactory back up. Just bear with me. We're so close to being done. Nah. How many LODs? How many? Am I even going to be able to use my factory? Okay. Where... How far back does this autosave set us? Because I can do a lot of damage in 15 minutes. Ah, before the whole goddamn thing. Okay. It's not the end of the world. That sets up those three. That sets up those three. That sets up those three. And at least I can do it right the first time this time. Alright. And that is... That is our versatile framework getting built. We now have all the materials set up so that we can produce 2,500 versatile framework in about 90 minutes. So, at some point, either today or this weekend, I'm probably going to go through every single machine and make sure they're all wired up for the correct thing, because I genuinely don't want to do that on stream. That's going to be like 2 hours of going through just 1,000 machines. Probably not actually 1,000. It's probably only like 500, but hundreds and hundreds in order to make sure everything's connected properly and procced to build the right thing. So, we have, I think, 3 final products left, and then, what is that? High-speed connectors? So, we need to get auto wiring. We need to get the ACUs, and then it's modular engines. Yeah. And modular engines are one of the slowest building things. Which is why we've got so many. So. Next time we stream on Satisfactory, we're going to be working on those 3 final products. We're going to work on the high-speed connectors. I should hopefully by then have just about everything in the machines programmed correctly. And then once we get those 3 done, we just need to do a wiring check. Honestly, I'm probably going to start running the factory before we have the resource dumps configured. I might also do that. Well, I'm not going to configure the resource dumps. I'm going to configure, like, the storage area for everything so that, you know, the products have a place to go. But, we are not quite within spitting distance, but the end is in sight. Completing phase 3 is in our near future. Babylon stream 42. Save. And I remember going through the VODs and uploading them, and we started working on the Mega Factory back at like Babylon stream 20, right? Let's just call that 110 hours. 110 hours, and we got to the Mega Factory. Honestly, it was probably before this, but let's just give us the benefit of the doubt and say Babylon stream 20. 110 hours. We're now at 193. Call it 194. That's 84 hours. 84. But the end is finally in sight. That was saved. Yep, everything's good. Okay, so plan. Thursday, we'll be streaming some Witcher 3. I forget. No, wait, hold on. We were in Skellige. We were doing Skellige things. I think we were about to get started on... Yeah, we were going to start working on Krach's children, Saris and Hjalmar. Need to help them out. So, take care, everyone. Stay safe, and I'll catch you all... Well, hold on. I'll catch you all Thursday at around 8 a.m. for some Witcher. Plan for next week is basically the same as it's going to be this week. Tuesday, Thursday, around 8 a.m. Eastern time. We're currently on Eastern Daylight Time because we passed November 1st and now it's winter and now the whole clocks have moved back and it's a fucking... We get sleep. Bye everyone. Take care. Stay safe. I'll catch you on the next one. Ciao.